Hello set apart saints, this is David, and in my videos about the drying up of the Euphrates River, I've shown that Messiah didn't write Revelation as a literal narrative. He used symbols which are defined in the Old Testament to point to a physical fulfillment, which is very different than the plain literal explanation. What I'm going to talk about in this video is that the trumpet judgments use symbolic terms to point to a literal fulfillment, but there was a secondary literal fulfillment for each of the trumpets. And maybe that's what's taking place with the drying up of the Euphrates River. These secondary events seem to confirm the fulfillment of the prophecies in a way that only Yah the Heavenly Father could command. I provide a verse-by-verse explanation of these prophecies in the Revelation Timeline Decoded video series, so these are only summaries of the keywords that were used. I'll show the symbolism, the primary literal fulfillment, and the secondary literal fulfillment to help you see how amazing Yah is in causing these events to line up perfectly. So the context of the trumpet judgment is punishment against the Roman Empire because Satan had used the emperors to persecute Messiah's saints. So Yah the Heavenly Father is sending pagan armies, barbarian armies to attack it. In the first trumpet judgment, the symbolism of hail points to a military attack from the north by the Goths, who were led by Alaric. They moved in the direction in which literal hail came from north to south. They attacked the Roman Empire from 400 to 410 AD in Greece, Gaul, and Spain, and then 300,000 Goths invaded Italy. The fire represents their scorched earth policy in their invasions of enemy territory where they burned everything in sight. The secondary literal fulfillment was that 8-pound hailstones fell on the Roman Empire during that period. In the second trumpet judgment, the symbolism of a burning mountain points to the kingdom of the Vandals attacking Rome's coastlines and burning their ships. And a mountain can represent a great nation. So in the second trumpet, it points to the great nation of the Vandals, led by Genseric, attacking the coastlands of the Roman territory of the Mediterranean and the islands from 425 to 470 AD, leaving bloodshed and confusion in their wake. The secondary literal fulfillment was that Mount Vesuvius in Naples, Italy, erupted in 472 AD. The burning mountain caused the night sky to light up as if it was daytime, and southern Europe was blanketed by ash. Ashfalls were reported as far away as Constantinople, perhaps pointing to its pending doom during the sixth trumpet judgment. A star in prophecy symbolizes a leader. In the third trumpet, the great burning star was Attila, the king of the Huns, who was called the scourge of God. Attila and his 800,000-man army rose quickly and flashed across the land in 451 AD and desolated the Italian Alps, which is the source of the Danube, Rhine, and Po rivers. A key military strategy was to attack the enemy when they were crossing a river, which left many dead bodies in the rivers, making the water bitter, wormwood, which caused deaths downstream. The secondary literal fulfillment was that Halley's Comet blazed overhead in 451 AD before Attila the Huns' defeat at the Battle of Chalons. Not long after that battle, Attila was drunk on his wedding night when an artery burst and he drowned in his own blood. So he flashed onto the scene and faded away quickly, just like Halley's Comet. References to the sun, moon, and stars can symbolize leadership structure. In the fourth trumpet judgment, the symbolism of the sun being darkened points to the last Western Roman emperor, the sun, being removed from power in 476 AD. Odoacer in the Heruli, a branch of the Goths, attacked the Roman Empire, which led to the downfall of Roman leadership when Romulus Augustulus, the last Western Roman emperor, was captured in 476 AD. The hierarchy of Roman leaders, the moon and the stars, would have lost power too. The western third of the Roman Empire had fallen, which led to the two woe judgments against the central third and the eastern third of the Roman Empire in the next trumpet judgments. The secondary literal fulfillment is that a solar eclipse occurred on July 4, 476, perhaps as a sign. In the fifth trumpet, the symbolism of a star falling from heaven points to Satan, using Mohammed to create the false religion of Islam. Muslims were sent to attack the central third of the Roman Empire from 612 to 762 AD. They wore turbans, crowns of gold. They had beards, faces of men, as the Romans shaved. They had long hair like women, and they wore chainmail, breastplates of iron, and they were fierce with teeth like lions. And here's a picture of Antar, who was a contemporary of Muhammad, and he had this portrait done of himself. And you can see the horse is dressed for war. He's wearing a crown of gold on the turban. He has his long hair tucked underneath the turban. He has a face of man, so he has a beard. And he has breastplates of iron, the chainmail. So we see the exact symbolism that's used to point to Muhammad and the Muslim army. The falling star, the leader, was Muhammad. He was supposed to inherit leadership of Mecca. But when his grandfather died, he was too young to take control, so it was given to another. So he was ripe to be misled by Satan to become the leader. The smoke out of Satan's bottomless pit is the false religion of Islam, which has hid the gospel of the Son of Righteousness from billions of Arabs' eyes. One of the secondary literal fulfillments is that Halley's Comet blazed overhead in 607 AD, when Muhammad was given visions from Satan or one of his fallen angels. Lucifer was once a leader in heaven, but he fell into apostasy. Thus he was a fallen star who pressed the evil writings of the Quran onto Muhammad. Another secondary fulfillment is that there's a black stone at the Kaaba in Mecca that reportedly contains a meteorite, a star that fell from heaven. In the sixth trumpet, the symbolism of tails were like unto serpents point to the Turks attacking the Eastern Roman Empire. The sixth trumpet points to the Turks being released from the Euphrates River to conquer the eastern third of the Roman Empire for 391 years, from 1062 to 1453. They used long cannons, which looked like serpents, to knock down the thick protective walls of Constantinople, which filled the air with fire, smoke, and brimstone. The secondary literal fulfillment is that Halley's Comet blazed overhead in 1066 AD, which is at the beginning of the Turks' attacks. The comet was described as looking like a dragon, a serpent with multiple tails, which matches the sixth trumpet description, which points to their tails, which were like unto serpents. In 1456, a few years after the Turks conquered Constantinople, Halley's Comet blazed overhead again. It reportedly resembled a Turkish curved sword. So the trumpet judgment's primary fulfillment is amazing, but the secondary fulfillments leave me in awe. Our Heavenly Father orchestrates the perfect timing of events on earth and in the heaven. And maybe that's what's taking place in the fulfillment of the sixth bowl. Maybe Yah is using the physical drying up of the Euphrates River to confirm that we are in the sixth bowl. The enemy has misled the end-time saints into believing that most of the prophecies in Revelation will be fulfilled during the last 3.5 years. But the truth that the enemy has suppressed is that most of the prophecies in Revelation have been fulfilled in exacting detail during the last 1900 years. First part of the sixth bowl, about the Ottoman Empire drying up, has been fulfilled. This paved the way for the kings of the East, the Khazar Jews whose descendants came from Khazaria in Eastern Europe to take control of Zionist Israel. So we see that part of the sixth bowl has been fulfilled. I believe that the three unclean spirits in the sixth vial represent Satan the dragon, empowering the Antichrist beast and false prophet to contrive the three ideologies of communism, Nazism, and political Zionism, using World Wars I and II to take more control of the world and to push it towards their desired one world government. The sixth vial is the context of Messiah's declaration, "Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame." Sadly, most believers are blinded by the false futuristic explanations, and they don't understand where we're at on the Revelation fulfillment timeline, so they're not prepared for Messiah's return. They will be caught by surprise like the foolish virgins who don't have the oil of scriptural truth to light their way. There aren't many prophecies left to be fulfilled before Messiah returns. I pray that this video is a wake-up call to cause you to question what you've been taught. I'll include a link to a Revelation Fulfillment Summary Study, which you can print to see the big picture. On the Revelation Timeline Decoded website, you can request a free PDF copy of the Revelation Timeline Decoded book summary, which gives a detailed explanation. And I explain it all verse by verse with the historical evidence to validate it in the Revelation Timeline Decoded video series. If this lesson helped you, please click on the YouTube thumbs up, post a comment, and share it with others. And subscribe to the channel to be notified about new videos. Keep learning and growing in the way to be an overcomer. I love y'all. Shalom.